I just wanted to talk because it's been on my mind for a while. How today's pagans, for the most part, feel very LARPy and disingenuous. And disingenuous might be a triggering word for a lot of them, but where I'm coming from is a lot of the rules and the practices today align way too well with Abrahamic religions. And if you know enough about the Crusades and history, I guess, you know that in order to get the majority of Europeans to convert to Christianity, Christianity had to steal and morph itself into the pantheon of the regions. They had to convince the inhabitants that following Christian God was not too dissimilar from following their own gods. You know, all villages had their god that they revered. But that mentality, understandably, leaks through to today's pagan. And I'm not even saying like, oh, you're not pagan if you're not sacrificing a goat every year. You know, that's not what I'm saying. However, the rules that people keep talking about in this day and age, I've been pagan for 15 years, at least. So I'm not a fucking noob, okay? The rules that are spoken of today are rules that Abrahamic religions follow to revere their God. Now, that isn't to say that you shouldn't give offerings to the gods if you want to, when you can, when you want to. It's not like they don't care about that. Of course they do. However, to make a daily, weekly practice of it, to me, feels very Abrahamic. I don't know anybody's personal experience with coming to the pantheon, whether it be Egyptian, Greek, Germanic, Arabic, whatever, whichever one they're following. I don't know their personal experience or their stories. And frankly, I can't really even speak on Egyptian and Arabic because I only know that they exist. That's it. But I know a thing or two about Greek, and I know a thing or two about Canaanite, and I know a thing or two about Germanic paganism. I think people create rules in order to instill structure that they are lacking everywhere else in their lives. I don't actually think it's for the gods. And let me explain my own experience with getting into paganism. Never once in my life have I ever called upon a god or goddess. Ever. Ever. They have always come to me when I was at my weakest and needed a push to better my character, basically. So, that being said, I don't give offerings except for, once a year, maybe. I don't give gifts. I don't absolutely worship anybody. Like, I like to think of it as working with them, because that is what it is. I do not believe that Germanic gods require gifts and devout worship. That is very much a Christianity, Abrahamic ideology, the absolute devout worship. And I think a lot of people blindly follow the gods. And I'm talking about for the Greek pantheon too. How can you appropriately follow your god, god of choice, if you haven't even done any reading on their place in folklore? You don't even know anything about them. How can you properly worship them? So is it for them, or is it for you? Is it something you do out of boredom? Is it something that gives you purpose in life? Or is it something that you're doing to connect to them? Anyway, everyone is going to have their own methods and own ways of worship. That's true. But I think a lot of people don't really realize that it's about them. It's not about the gods in their practice. But, I am not here to tell people that they have to do it my way. Certainly not. In fact, I would prefer to keep my way. It's just an observation that I have made. Really. I'm not trying to shit on anyone, and I'm not trying to judge anybody. Although it's probably how it comes across. It's just an observation. Anyway, thought of the day.